Um,
I, I I got lucky. I got lucky, man. I got 7 years in prison. I
wow.
got sentenced to 7 years.
So you go from riding around in fur coats and you got the cars and women are coming up to you to prison. Walk me through the conditions. Walk me through if there's any particular memories, like your first day walking in, and then the lack of humanity, or like the from the food to the way the cell was. Like, just try and give us a vivid picture of what that experience was like.
I mean, first you have to go to central bookings. Central bookings, you're in a holding cell with maybe 20, 30 men, and you're just waiting to see a judge, and they're moving you from cell to cell until you see a judge in like 48 hours.
Hmm.
So that's one of the worst parts because you can't take a shower. You're sitting with all these people. The toilet is full of shit, like all you get is maybe a bologna sandwich with fucking expired milk, so it's a fucked up situation. And then once you get to your cell, you feel a little bit more comfortable because you could set up, you could lay down, you actually have a mattress where you could sleep at, and take a shower with the dirty ass soap. But um I mean, it was not the first time I was in prison. I've been in and out of jail since I was 13. I was not scared at all. Like there was people that I went literally into that situation that were my homies from the block, that I was in the same cell block, and they see me, they greet me, So it was still that sign of like respect and power while even walking into those doors.
Hmm. That must have certainly helped your experience. I guess I've been watching a lot of prison documentaries, from supermaxes in the United States to places out in Panama, and like one of the things that really stood out to me is people that hadn't even been sentenced yet. I think this was a prison in Papua New Guinea. They would sleep on a concrete floor. About 100 men had, I think, a bucket was the toilet, no mattress, no blanket, no
Hmm.
pillow, and they could wait 2 to 4 years until they were sentenced. And I just like see instance after instance of just, I don't know how you mentally survive some of those experiences. What was the toughest part for you in there?
Uh, Man, I think the toughest part is, being away from my son. At the time, my son was about to turn 2 years old, and um, I regret the fact that I wasn't out there, being a dad, and I was out in the streets just hanging out, and not really spending time with him. And I think being away from him was definitely the hardest thing. There's certain situations where you have like gang riots and fights, and you end up in I've been in solitary confinement.
What was that like?
Uh, Man, it's solitary. You get about 2 3 showers a week. I was in 24-hour lockdown. Limited food. If you don't hear the child call, and you're not at your door, you're not getting food. So you're starving.
How long were you in there for it?
I did
Any
a
given stretch
did a total of 8 months.
in
Yeah,
solitary
yeah,
confinement?
yeah.
And do you feel like that's a fair punishment for what you did, or do you think that's, hey, this is inhumane and this needs to change?
I went to solitary for dirty urine. For
Oh, you pissed hot in the in
Yeah, I
prison?
was I was still sneaking in drugs. I was still smoking weed. I was still, bugging out while I was incarcerated, and I used to get baby moms at the time. I got married in Rikers Island. I got my wife, and I tied the knot while we were incarcerated, and my ex-wife at the, now. But um yeah, I mean, she used to bring shit for me, other people used to bring shit for me, so,
Hmm.
and I got to put it in shit in places where nobody wants to put shit in, but
Hmm.
that's how we got the drugs in. That's how I was still smoking. I smoked probably 20 fucking, we used to call it blunt wraps a day, man. It was just nonstop
Inside or outside?
inside.
Really?
Yeah.
Because anyone that has smoked weed before knows that it's an extremely strong, pungent smell. Is it just that there were so many people in there that it was hard for the guards to tell what was coming from what?
Nah, some of the
You paid
guards
them
just
off.
didn't give a fuck.
Mm.
They was just like whatever.
Could you bribe guards in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what
Absolutely.
kind of, like, to get cell phones, to get certain privileges?
Cell phones, drugs,
Mm.
uh, just pretty much anything. There was, I never paid a woman for having sex while I was incarcerated, but I seen dudes, pay officers to have sex with them, you know?
Wow.